Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fan Takeaways, where you share your thoughts post-game via Instagram, good, bad, and ugly, although there's not a lot of ugly at the moment for the Collingwood Football Club. If you want to be a part of this segment, follow pies_footy on Instagram as I post these stories right after the game. So let's get straight into it, and there's lots of Steel Sidebottom love. So I'll read them all out together, and then we'll jump into it. So Beasley says, Steel Sidebottom, I apologize for everything or anything that I've said bad about you in years gone by. We also have Chris Cassette, lock Sidey in for another 2 years. We have Cohen07, Sidey and Pendles have another 2 years in them. Matt Lee says, Sidey is a smoky for the Brownlow. We'll get to that. And then also Ollie 1272 says Steel Sidebottom has 2 more years. Throw back to this time last year where a lot of us were saying, is it time for Sidebottom to retire along with some of the older lads? And looking back at it, you come to learn that these are easy statements to come out with because it's popular and not many people would have disagreed with it at the time. But to stick by them and persevere and get to where we are today is just a testament to how clubs operate internally, more specifically the Collingwood Football Club. So we were wrong, and that's okay. I was wrong, and that's okay. Their form spike, we'll talk about Sidey and Pendles collaboratively because they deserve share the same breath in the same sentence. Where do you get form spikes at the age of 35, 37? I've seen Taylor Walker around his early 30s have a form spike. I've seen Dane Zorko, Dangerfield this year. So it does happen. But we're talking Steel Sidebottom and the Brownlow right now. We're talking Steel Sidebottom coaches votes every game. Getting career highs, clearances, contested possessions, you name it. And he's someone who has sacrificed his role over the last 5 to 6 years, playing on the wing. Played great there and was really good there in our 2018 year, 2023. But he's unlocked a new version, just dominating in the middle with Pendlebury, with Ned Long, with Nick Dacos. Someone who reminds me of Steel Sidebottom when we talk sacrifice. I think about Jack Crisp because I believe he could do maybe not the same thing as Steel Sidebottom. I think there's still probably a difference in levels between them two over the course of their careers, obviously. But Jack Crisp definitely has that potential, and he showed us last year. It's just incredible. It's unforeseen, and we've got to soak this up. It's been very smooth sailing. I'm sure there'll be a few hiccups along the course, but so far, so good. He's everywhere. He's clean with his disposal. What do you have, like 36 touches and just breaking records left, right, and centre. They've got 2 more years in them. I think Manny, again, I love referencing Manny, but in the post-game show, he goes, who's retiring at the end of this year? We look ahead in time and we ask who's gonna call it a day at the end of this year. Doing that at the start of the year, you go, yeah, Tom Mitchell, Jeremy Howe, Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Jamie Elliott, Will Hoskin-Elliott, Mason Cox, and then you look at the form they're in, you go, if we win a flag, maybe you can make a case that most of them will retire, but based on their form and the trajectory they're on right now, being a dominant side, keep going. Give us 2 more years. Why not? The form warrants it. Just the hunger's clearly there. It's just, are they willing to go through another grueling preseason? But they've done it year in, year out. They know how to work through it, and it's been nothing short of it's breathtaking. I'm lost for words at this point with those lads. So unbelievable. We'll move on. Let's say Cruz McLeavy, sort of stringing into the next topic. 30s is the new 20s. So I'll probably throw that in there. I won't give that too much airtime, but very clearly we are the trailblazers. Geelong did it one way, similar to us, but I feel like we've taken it to the next level, fielding the older side in AFL history. So that's never been done before. Thanks to modern technology and sports and conditioning, I think it's what we're seeing is made possible because of that. James Pact says, we are adapting much better this year. We've spoken about this at length as well in many videos and live streams. The ability for the coaching group to make changes in game and make decisions to bring certain players in at certain times. We're not scared to play the best side based on what the opposition personnel is, their profile is. I'm sure Coxie would love to play week in, week out, but I'm sure he understands that he's gonna be in and out of the side because we're gonna play relative to how the opposition stacks up against us. So that's something we're seeing, and we probably didn't see it enough last year. And real kudos to the coaching group there. Kynan says, we missed Moore out there tonight. His form has been going unnoticed. I wouldn't say it's been going unnoticed. I think he's gotten his flowers. We probably missed him in a few one-on-one duels that he probably would have won, but team footy trumps the individual talent. So years gone by, you hear Darcy Moore comes out, you hear Scott Pendlebury comes out, you hear Geordie De Goey comes out, and you're sweating bullets. This year, different, because you trust the system. The system is so powering and overwhelms any decision about a particular individual. So that's something we're seeing a lot this year as well. Andreas from the Black and White United YouTube channel says, every time we are challenged, we respond and adapt to that exact situation properly. Anzac Day games gone by, we take a lead, we give it up, and then we're in an arm wrestle. In 2025, we might cop 3 or 4 on a trot like we did against Essendon, but we just take the game back and put it back on our terms and steal it from them and make it a task too difficult to try and come back. And that's what we did. We got the lead back up to 4 or 5 goals thanks to Bobby Hill and Jamie Elliott and the rest. That's a really good sign of maturity, and it's a good sign of a premiership fancy, really. Rocket Rondo says his fan takeaway is, even though we're not at our best, we can still win comfortably, which is scary. Yeah, we probably weren't at our best against Essendon. I thought we were good enough, clearly, and we put the scoreboard pressure on them. I still think we were pretty good. Given the context of the event, I think you take that as a really good win, even though it wasn't a performance like Port Adelaide or Brisbane or Sydney. I still think the magnitude of it, the anxiety that goes into it, we dealt with it very, very well. Harrison says Frampton struggled without Moore. I disagree. I think Frampton, he's a back shoulder defender, so when there are turnovers like we endured a few times yesterday, naturally it's going to be hard to defend when they've got genuine one-on-ones, and also when Billy Frampton's running back to goal, it's going to be more difficult. So I think Frampton's been fine. He's been holding his own. Galinus Foods says potent forward line. We just do it in many different ways. Across the board, the 23 players that take the field every week, there's talent across every line. There's not a single player who doesn't have a little bit of X factor. That every single player. And that's what's scary. Bobby Hill, missing the entire first half, comes out in the third quarter and just takes the game away or brings it back on our terms. Jamie Elliott, 5 goals. McStay, although we're going to miss him, I just think we've got too many weapons, too many swords to dagger them with. So, very potent forward line. Nicholas Allen says we've learned how to guard the corridor against other teams. We've certainly the experience helps. The experience really helps with being able to guard the corridor. I think that's the biggest thing. They've gone to work with the video analysis perhaps, and they've also got the oldest field on the side, so it's quite evident, isn't it? Ollie Brownie says Maynard should have been captain, shaking my head. I think we're past this one now. We can probably assume that Bruzzy in a meeting would have said, nah, Nick, you take it. This means more to you. I've already been a standing captain. It's fine. DO4 says, should Nick stay as captain? Won't happen. He will be our captain in the future, but yeah, well, why would you do that in season? And then lastly, Maverick Buckley says, Charlie West to debut. Get Schultz into that forward line and more in. Loving our last quarters. It's been a therapeutic fourth quarter in pretty much every game for us this year. So I might start meditating to it in the fourth quarter to put me to sleep, because that is just poetry in motion. what we see preceding that first, second, and third, and we can sort of leave the game and not be stressed and not have constant heartache like we have had since 2022. Even if you want to go far back as 2021, that's heartache. That whole year was very difficult to watch. So Charlie West to debut. I think he might get his chance against Freo. I don't think he gets it against Geelong. He'll travel to Perth, I dare say, at the very least as an emergency. If I'm guessing, I feel like we'll rest a couple of players and then we'll probably have an experienced player as a sub for Freo. I'm not saying we're taking Freo lightly, but it is a game. Travel, I'm not sure what the break is going into it and thereafter, but there is a point in time where you've just got to play safe. And hopefully by then, after we beat Geelong, we're 7-1. Worst case, we take the L in Perth. It's a difficult venue, difficult team. They're going to want to take our heads. That's fine. But we do have to rest these players at some point and acknowledge the VFL form of our youngsters like Charlie West, Will Hayes, TJ. They're going to get opportunities this year for sure. Anyhow, that is it for the fan takeaways. I appreciate all the input you guys bring to the channel. And until next time, go Pies.